Yeah.
My understanding is that Sparks explained everything to you.
So I'll enumerate what it is just in case. So I received. I was told that you were approached about from Mr. Blue on a faceless chip, making with a video. So first off, there was the allegation, followed by a chip with a video indicating that I had instructed the besties go and torture Andre Tyson. In addition to that, that it would be followed with some records. From what it looks like, they appear to be stolen and pruned. And in the inference that I'd contact with Clark Mason as well as Aubrey Webster at the time of Andre's kidnapping. I was also relayed to me that all of this kind of kicked off. So let me actually tell you from the very beginning what occurred.
Okay.
I received a phone call in the midst of receiving some material from one of our ghosts, some, investor book or whatever.
Sure.
It was then relayed to me that there was concern by the besties that the state is fucking them over. They didn't know why they were being contacted by yourself, being asked these questions, asking, are they accusing us of this? But most specifically, they said, it sounds like they're trying to make it sound like you made us do this. Do we need to be concerned? Do we not, do we stop working with the cops, et cetera, et cetera? That was kind of the, how the conversation went. Not having the context of what was going to be told to me, I ensured that there was, and not to mention, these guys have been actively hunted by A10s. I made sure Miller was watching. For all I know, I could have gotten kidnapped in that moment. But separately, we also had, I believe, Springfield over by the lighthouse and Kingsman nearby as well, in case there was any flyovers. That's when I came to realize, wait, hold on a second. This is probably the phone call that Sparks took while we were in the car talking about a series of matters. And that's when, I confronted it head on, spoke to Sparks, asked her if there's any statements I needed to make. I did so. After which she told me I could look at this thing, and I narrated my take on the matter, which I'm assuming she took notes on. And I additionally mentioned that these allegations have been out there for about a week and a half from the truth, alongside of other series of propaganda, for lack of a better word. So,
Sure.
But outside of those things,
Well, sounds like you have a pretty
unsure.
clear understanding then, from what you described to me.
Yeah.
So there's also been some other allegations that have been levied. I'll leave that to the other investigators to manage in due time.
All right.
But the reality is this, okay? I don't want to believe that you've done these things.
Yeah.
Truthfully, I don't want to be having this conversation with you at all, because I think that for the most part, the efforts that you've been engaging with, the faces have been wholehearted. They've been effective, and they've been good. But the reality is that the allegations that have been levied are quite serious, and along with some potentially incriminating evidence being applied as well, it puts us in the unfortunate situation where we do have to look into it, regardless of how much we don't want to believe they're true or not.
Yeah.
We need to verify for certain. So that's why we are having this conversation.
Absolutely.
We're essentially at the crossroads where I would like to do this quickly, as cleanly as possible. Essentially, I'm putting together a team of unbiased people from across each department to perform this investigation. I would like you to cooperate to your fullest, and if you're willing to. Obviously, you do have the right not to. That's within your right. You have just the same rights as everyone else does. But I think it would be easiest and done most quickly if you did cooperate. so that we can get this all cleared up as quickly as possible.
Yeah, no, I'm perfectly fine with that. My only ask here is that this not go forward until Saturday. And my argument is going to be pretty simple. Look, if you guys think I did this shit, I mean, listen, man, I'm going to turn my shit in. I've, done my service. However, this timing should be questioned. If we look at this in a vacuum, right? If this was Monday, I could understand, right? 2 days, 3 days, whatever. Let's do what we need to do. The problem that I'm going to throw on the on the table here is this happened the day prior to and we can ask the other investigators, where we have 3 targeted hits, and I think I mentioned this to you, Angel. The targets right now are Bolingbrook Penitentiary,
Yes, you did mention this.
the docks, which is what me and Miller were just dealing with, where faceless assets are scouting or did something, and the communication networks. Anything that is going to prevent me from continuing to be able to fully operate is going to put the state in jeopardy. Quite frankly, when I look at the material that was given, my assertion is going to be as follows, and I think your findings very quickly will determine the same thing, is that we have, and I would also ensure that these investigators aren't looking at this isolated, but instead be sure to speak to those who have been intimately involved these last couple weeks, as there is context that I think sheds some light on these matters. Firstly, the source of this material has been coming from 3POS via the truth.
This material being the information that you have about the things that will happen soon?
Correct. Yes. It started as far back as when Nikki, if you remember, very shortly after the martial law announcement, there was a bunch of things said, and I think, would you agree that we had an idea where it could be, and then we kind of pulled back a little bit? Let's put it like that. You know what I mean?
With regards, I'm sorry, I'm not sure I'm following.
Putting out bounties, this, that, and the third, right? I think we had discussed about just murking these guys and interrogating them, and there's a lot of I think we're fantasizing a little
people?
bit. Shortly after martial law, when we threw Carmela Corset into prison, Hassan Bashardi twatted some stuff out, as well as OP from 3POS, began the rumor mill via the handle The Truth. That's going to be critical to this.
Okay.
The Truth, a week and a half ago, before we in law enforcement even knew Andre had been kidnapped to begin with, started posting out those allegations. This is not like a new allegation. This has been going on for a week and a half. I think even before the whole demon comments by Lang Buddha. Clark, who is in that evidence, has been working side by side with law enforcement as late as Tuesday evening. Even if hypothetically, let's just say hypothetically here for a second, I was psycho and I'm like, you know what? Let's go torture Andre Tyson, the one faceless asset aside from Shang I kind of fuck with. Let's just go and torture the fuck out of him without any material cause or motive. We didn't even that. What evidence would we have been garnering from jet ski Andre? To do that would be not only crazy, but for Clark to 180 and make this statement, let's say I did this, for Clark to have then said, hey, Brian told us to do this, it points more as he was forced by the faceless for one reason or another. And probably the easiest way to check is to see if he's even involved with all the malicious stuff right now. or
Have
whether
you
he
spoken
left.
with Clark recently?
No. The last time I spoke to him was when we had a marshal start in public claiming he took the oath and kind of jeopardize him, leading to her getting shot. After that, I've not spoken to him. I've not spoken to him for a day and a half. However, what I do know is that he has been, their building was blown up Tuesday. They were chased by A10s, as I was told by Forehead and Company. And when I spoke to Benji Ramos to try to figure out what's going on with the militia stuff we saw up in Polito, he told me the same thing, is that they have faceless planes coming after them. As the faceless have done, all we have to do is look as far as Lang Buddha and Sebastian recently, or any of these other groups, is that they get threatened that we are going to hurt your loved ones and yourself. I think it's very clear to me, and don't take my word for it, ask the other, investigators, ones that I've not even communicated with, but have this context. Why does it make sense in any context for Clark to have said this without being told to say these very words? Around the time these calls have been made, mind you, that we were actively in communication. I believe it was the 3rd that was referenced, the days prior to and the days afterwards. I've been servicing a series of calls, not just around the bounties that were put up, but in addition to getting an understanding that if the faceless were to invade, are you interested, or would you be interested, similar to the guerrilla teams that helped us, to have these states back? That is the furthest extent of any conversation that has taken place. Those calls, as well as the series of calls that I'm sure you'll see on my phone, go from the morning till the evening with every group, including but not limited to those who are faceless and anti-faceless. I think all they really did here is prune my calls, get Clark to state something, but there is no motive. It doesn't make any sense. If I was going to torture someone, and I think I told you this, Angel, is like, we need to ask if we can do advanced interrogation. And that's not what happened to Andre. And that is something, if I was given the privilege of, via the state, of course, damn well I'm going to do that if we're going to get fucking murked. Right? I'm not going to sit back while someone that's like effectively seceding has information that could lead to the death of, millions. But I am certainly not going to, for shits and giggles, tell someone to fuck up someone like Andre, right? If I was that insane, it'd probably be Brandon. But, anyways.
Okay.
I want to be sure to answer any questions that you have. And,
if anyone's going to be performing enhanced interrogation on these
you.
motherfuckers, it's going to be me, not the goddamn besties.
That's what's up.
Okay. Well, listen, I don't expect you to explain the answer to these questions to me. I expect you to explain it to a jury of your peers, is how it was worded to me. So we're putting together this unbiased panel that will do this investigation, okay?
All right.
I think it's best if law enforcement did it, not me.
Okay. I am perfectly fine by that. I ask that if there's going to be any major decisions or, that I maintain control till at least the end of Friday evening. Right.
Here's what we'll do, okay? In the meantime, in the interim, I'm going to be assigning Rhodes as essentially your partner, okay? He's going to be by your butt. He's going to be helping you with this stuff. He's going to be managing, and he's going to be your equal, essentially, in the interim. We're going to have this investigation done as quickly as possible. I understand that there's some very serious things that are going to be happening in the next day or so, and I don't wish to put the state at risk. I don't wish to put everyone at risk. And like I said, I would genuinely like to believe that all these allegations are just that fabricated and they're not true.
If there's any evidence that I did this, I will resign myself. I'll make that oath right here. So.
Okay. And I can appreciate and respect that. So, like I said, Rose is going to be assigned to be your partner. He's going to be your Overwatch and working with you on all these operations. Any decisions you guys make, you need to both agree on them. This will be a short-term thing while this investigation is done. Once the immediate threat is over, if the investigation is still not concluded, I will ask you refrain from engaging in further activities until it can conclude. But I don't expect it to take more than a few days. I want it to be done as quickly as possible.
That's fine by me.
Does that work for you?
When will you be on duty?
Rhodes, I mean, sorry, does that work for you?
Works for me.
When am I on duty?
Yeah, when will you be on duty tomorrow?
10 a.m. till 1 a.m.
I'll see you there, bud.
All right.
All right. Listen, I understand how awkward this is, Brian, and I'm very sorry to have to do this. I know it may not feel good, especially after you've been putting your heart and soul into this. But
listen, I'm good by this. Like I've said it before, I'll say it again. You know, I showed up to the ACRs. I've showed up to the impeachments. I am not a pussy when it comes to this. And quite frankly, you know, I'm just hoping, you know, I'm not found guilty on some bullshit, because then I'm going to be pissed that I didn't actually do that shit. And you know.
I understand. I understand. Listen, Brian, if we were just going to go with a knee-jerk reaction and just get it over with, we wouldn't be having this conversation. So,
yeah.
I will say this, though. You are not to speak with any investigators regarding your investigation outside of them approaching you and asking questions. You are within your rights to deny speaking with them. You have those rights just like anyone else.
Sorry, can you clarify that? You mean the investigation on me? I should not speak to anyone other than
do not speak to them about the investigation into you. You can speak to them about other aspects. Don't ask them probative questions. Don't ask them about the like specific details. You can ask them specific administrative questions, like, you know, how long are things going to be, like anything that would be a typical question, but anything that could be viewed as an attempt to obstruct or manipulate or intimidate them is not going to be tolerated. Okay.
No, of course not. And you know, Sparks, feel free to speak on your behalf, but I did ensure that Miller was present, but you know, I do not want to. Please let me know who's going to be investigating, so I do not encroach along those ways. Right.
Well, Sparks will be putting the team together tonight and getting it going as quickly as possible. It's going to be someone from each department working as a coalition.
Okay. For the sake of not crossing wires, I would ask that such investigators not be ones directly involved in day-to-day faceless investigative stuff, so that there isn't any awkwardness, at least over the next couple days, right?
Can you manage
I'm not
that,
saying
Sparks?
that they shouldn't go on the scenes, but they probably shouldn't be... I don't want to get into a situation where I'm like...
Around.
Exactly. If I'm saying like, hey, do this, and then it becomes awkward, right?
That was already the intention.
Okay.
You don't need an accusation that Brian's sending in the fucking investigator to get shot.
Yeah.
Okay. Good. All right. Well, then, that's
I'd like
everything
to
for me.
have Blunt, you know.
I do have